are such an asshole.
All right, we got a unique question here. Cappy, should people start sending invoices to companies after interviews by charging them for their time and travel expenses, etc., to get the interview video response? I would. There's nothing stopping you from finding, their accounts payable department and sending them a professional looking invoice. I mean, you give it a shot. You may actually get people to pay you where you send them an invoice and I need to be compensated for da 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 da. If they pay you, cool. Uh, and yeah, if you can get away with it, do it. But should you? Yes, you absolutely should. You absolutely should send them an invoice because your time has value. And many of these places, I'll I'll tell you a story. Till you prove it wrong. What was it? The University of Minnesota's law school. Now this is going before my time. This is a boomer who was telling me this. This is quite some time ago. Don't know if it's the same thing, but a lot of the third-year law students were interviewing, or I'm sorry, they weren't interviewing. They had interviews lined up with all the big wig law firms in the Twin Cities, all three of them. If I think there's three. And one year, all these interview students that had yet to interview, third-year law students, all got rejection letters saying they went with another candidate. And none of them had interviewed yet. And so what it was just these firms doing PR to me. Oh, yeah, we'll go to your campus and recruit. They had no intention of recruiting. And a lot of interviews out there are mere formalities where there is no chance you have a job because the job's already been chosen, but they have to do their due diligence. They have to make it look, oh, we interviewed. Plus, I believe HR just needs something to do. And HR was going to choose Becky, her BFF, over in accounting or whatever to get the position. So a lot of times you're just wasting your time. And whereas, yes, it is unprofessional to not show up for an interview, it's incredibly even more unprofessional to have people come in and interview and go through a tremendous waste of resources when you already have a job candidate. And so, yes, in a philosophical sense, you should send them an invoice and you should be compensated, but that's not going to happen. And so what you might want to consider doing, and you could only get away with this if you were truly in a high demand and you had an employer, prospective employer that really was okay with it, is where it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I charge for interviews now. I don't know what that position would be. You'd have to be obviously in a highly sought after field. You probably have to have a recruiter. People have to be banging on your doors. And a lot of time, doctors and surgeons have this position where it's like, look, my time's incredibly valuable. This isn't like you coming fresh out of college. My time's incredibly valuable. You want to interview me? You're going to pay me for my time. Oh, and here's a couple other requirements. I'm not talking to HR. I don't do your non-job related training. I don't do CPE. I don't do woke training. And you leave me the F alone. Like, that's the level that you'd have to be at. But yes, you could say, well, yeah, you're going to have to compensate me. Are you flying me out there? Are you paying for my hotel? Are you paying for my transportation? Do I get a per diem for some food? Sometimes that did happen. Like, I remember people would fly me out to interview at different places. They would pay for a lunch or something. So that was nice. But yes, if you you can't send an invoice, that won't go anywhere unless you're really lucky. But it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, because I had an agent in the field tell me that when he ghosted on interviews or just said, no, I'm not interested, it would upset human resources. But then they call him like, oh, well, maybe we could do, maybe it's like, that's weird, but it's not weird in a sense that if you think about it, most of HR is women. And most of the time when you tell a woman no, then they want you even more. It may be some kind of ballsy move that on the face of it is wrong. Like, yeah, you got to pay me to interview you or interview me. I don't have time. So unless you're getting, I'm charging people $100 an interview. it would be so shocking to them. I can't believe how the balls on this. I can't believe. And they'd be like, whoa, what? Oh, because it's different. It's different and it stands out. Go watch Office Space. Even though it's a movie, there's a lot of truth to that where now he chainsaws down the what is it? The partition in his cubicle so you can see the window, and he's gutting a fish at work. And he gets promoted to management. It's not that extreme, but behavior that is aberrant or different, not illegal, not threatening, but just like, no, you got to pay me to interview. Don't be surprised that would catch more fish than you get some bites. And you go in there and like, yeah, no, you're going to pay me. I'm like, well, no, thank you for taking the time to interview me. No, I'm very busy. I have other things going on. So if you'd like me to come work for your corporate, and you can maintain that level of confidence. No, I know you say you pay 75,000, but it'll be more like 100,000 with benefits and 401k match. Well, all right, that's fine. Thank you for your time. We'd like you to come in for a second interview because you spanked us so hard the first time. So yes, you'd kind of do that. I don't know how. You'd have to have a daytime job and not need the money, but yeah, just kind of like recruiters are calling you like, hey, Frank, look, unless they're willing to pay for an interview, I need $50 to go in and talk to them. That's highly irregular. Don't care. Don't be surprised if you don't need it. Fine, go ahead, do it. And I probably almost would. I do know towards the end where I'd be getting emails and all that, like, hey, we got a little credit analyst. We got a new senior vice president. They got this, they got that thing. I'm like, is the boss a boomer? Yeah, no, not interested. No, not working for boomers. Nope, not in banking. So, but yeah, maybe, they're so desperate. We have negative interest rates. That's a possibility. Girls might end up asking guys out. Who knows? Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. You could probably charge for an interview now. Like, yeah, I'll show up. You got my money? Like, don't interview like, where's the money? Well, we thought you'd interview for no. I came here. Just compensate me for my time. You got the money and you walk away if they don't. All right. Any super chats? That's it. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.